What's up, everyone? Welcome to the podcast, a show dedicated to talking about all the poggers things in life, like music, content creation, and video games. I am one of your co-hosts, JesseKazam.
And I am fucking Carmen Sandiego. Because I know where in the world I am.
Look
Time to get dew-faced.
ready to get sun-kissed faced.
Brother, we're starting to dip our toes into the weeds of the GeoGuessr world.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Learning road signs and types of sand and light posts.
No light posts yet. I haven't got the light post meta, but you know, like if you see a blurry ass license plate that's like white, it looks like a black dot.
Okay.
And that's Argentina.
Like
every time. If it's blurry and it's yellow, that's Colombia.
Have you ever used that, like, you don't know where it is in Argentina, but you use the fact that you can get that information so fast that you just randomly slap something down in Argentina to pressure the other guy into making a guess and fumbling?
Oh, yeah.
Or
like
do you, okay.
90% of the time.
Yeah.
Like, that's the strat.
Well, I just wasn't sure if the strat was like, now that you know that information, you're trying to like get close in Argentina, or it's just like, I know this is Argentina and I got to give this guy, I got to put the pressure on this guy.
Yeah, because like if you're both in Argentina, you know, it's going to really be, you know, Buenos Aires. Like, it's going to be one of the major kind of cities.
Yeah. Oh,
and if
yeah.
you pick the wrong side, it's not really that many points. You know, if you start with like 6,000 or whatever, it might be like 75 points off. Like, it's not really that big of a deal.
Yeah.
So, but it makes a lot more sense for you to slap it down ASAP and hope that they don't get it in 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Because then if they guess Australia,
you're farming.
Yeah, you got 1 or 2 rounds of that and you win.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's
dude,
hot, dude.
I've got some clips, a few little clips I want to show. But yeah, it's been wild, dude. I know like every fucking domain name on planet Earth that has Google Maps coverage. Every domain name.
So you see like a billboard with a website or something, and then you're locked in.
That's like literally, I'd say 8 out of 10 times. That's how I like know where I am.
Interesting.
You know, so like .ee Estonia, .ch Switzerland, .za South Africa, .is is Iceland, SI is Slovenia, SK is Slovakia. You know, HU is almost always Budapest, you know, because it's Hungary.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've got a big list that I've been like taking notes and trying to understand, bro, the difference between Russian, like trying to figure out Russia versus Ukraine.
Yeah.
It's so sketchy. Like, unless I see, you know, someone's like shack like painted blue and yellow.
Yeah. It's hard like, to
or Moscow in Russian is like Moskva. You know how like Tarkov is like Tapkov?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like
yeah.
The R
yeah.
is like the P.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, it's like if you just assume it's English and you read it phonetically, right? It's Moskva. So like I'll be looking at buses. But dude, it's crazy how much of like the EU they all have like every little car has like a domain, and it's like they all have the same font. It's like I don't know, it's weird.
Really?
Yeah, so I can really quickly figure out like, oh, it's .ia, so it's Ireland or but bro, and I think I might have said this before, but like Vancouver and like New Zealand.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Are like identical.
Like weirdly identical. Yeah.
So now the easy way, you know, that I finally have been making use of actually is you just look up and see if the sun is in the north. Like if you see the sun facing to the north or to the south, then you know if you're in the northern or southern hemisphere. So you instantly like cuts out half of the planet.
I would have taken me 3 years to figure that one out.
I mean, I didn't come up with that myself.
Like deduced. I mean, that's mad smart. Yeah.
Yeah, but so now I'm yeah. There's a few things with GeoGuessr that kind of suck. One is like the multiplication like that they do with the score, like 1.5,
Yeah, so you could
2.0.
be like winning all game and then get one tapped basically.
Yeah, it's
If you
really
if you
annoying.
fumble, yeah.
Yeah, you can just be owning somebody, and then like you own them on like 3 or 4 rounds in the beginning. Then it's like you tie, and then it's like somehow they just happen to know it's Kuala Lumpur, and you're like, I don't know, like Sri Lanka or whatever, and it's just like this takes all.
Yeah.
Dude, it sucks.
Do
It's really
they get
frustrating.
harder? Like intentionally as the rounds go? See that feels bad then. Like the fact that it could just be like that, it would kind of make sense if the difficulty goes up, that the point scaling goes up, because then you would be rewarded for like getting the crazy, like I remember this like niche city or this thing or whatever. But like if like the final round can be like Orlando, and I mean, I guess somebody wouldn't fumble that, but you know what I mean. Like if they're all of the same difficulty, the point scaling makes less sense. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and I get like the funny thing is I get United States, so I'm silver 3. So I guess there's bronze, silver, I think maybe like gold, platinum, and then like whatever the fucking global elite.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
forget what it's
yeah.
called. But that's the other thing that's annoying is that you can't rank up. You have to wait a week to rank up. And there's like a leaderboard, and only the top 32 advance, like rank up after the week. So I'm sitting at the leaderboard, of course, like unlike most people, I play all day, right? 'Cause I'm
Yeah.
streaming it. So I have 217 games played. So I'm like well above number 2. I've got 27, it's 2,700 points, and then 1,900, 1,800, 1,700, 1,600.
Yeah.
So it's like but it's just stupid. It's
Wait, so only 32 people in each like bronze, silver, gold, whatever, advance each week?
Yeah, and it looks like the bottom like 55 plus, like we're like the leaderboard 55 and below, they get demoted.
Interesting.
I don't wonder how many players are playing. I would have thought that it would have been like thousands and thousands.
Thousands
And I would have thought
and
most of them
thousands.
would have been silver 3,
Yeah.
silver 2.
That's
so.
why I think 32 is such a low number. I like it based on the popularity of like, Rainbolt and like some of these guys. I would have assumed that the the concurrent player base of GeoGuessr is like tens of thousands.
Oh wait, there's more than one bracket? Because it doesn't say that I'm in like bracket 17 or whatever.
Maybe it's like based on.
Oh, okay. It's
Region or
definitely not
something?
based on region.
No.
You can see the flags. It's like Poland, Germany,
interesting. Okay.
Brazil.
But there is
I don't know. I think
okay.
it might just randomly
assign you to
together,
like groups
almost
of
like
100
a
or
tournament.
something. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes more sense then.
That makes a lot more sense. Yeah. So, but yeah, let me just show you a couple of clips real quick.
Yeah.
Um,
This feels like a game that just like feels insanely rewarding to hit a slam dunk in.
Bro,
You know what I
it's
mean?
so
Like you're like, I
satisfying.
remember this goddamn sign, and you just hit it, and you're like a mile away. You're like, yes, I can see it.
From someone who would have put like Budapest next to Singapore a week ago
Yeah.
on a map, the fact that like something pops up and I'm like, this instantly gives me the Ghana vibes, and I click and it's like 300 feet away. I'm like,
Yeah.
but how? But why?
Yeah,
like, I still kind of don't understand.
You're getting in touch with the universe.
Dude, I'm getting a feel for a lot of it has to do with the architecture. A lot of it has to do with, dude, the cars. I instantly know when I'm in the United States or like northern Mexico.
Yeah.
Because it's like, where else are you going to see a Prius, a Mazda, and a Dodge Ram? Nowhere in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, let me show you a few little guys together. Let's see, where was this? Yeah, so it's just like,
yeah, I mean,
looking at a sign, it just says gas services, electronics. Okay, I'm like,
Dude, I would just not even. That's a little. Everything's in English.
I'm just gonna go with my gut here.
Nair, Africa.
Nairobi.
Nairobi.
seconds left, or him or I.
What?
1 mile.
1 mile?
See, now it's slightly like over like you can't get too hyped with the distances because it's silver, silver whatever. It's generally like major cities.
Ah, okay.
So it's not like it's a random back road.
Yeah,
when Rainbow finds the bridge in Croatia in the woods and he's like 16 feet away, like that's more, so
okay, so that makes sense that it's like if you have a feeling that it's like Nigeria or something, to pick one of the major cities, and and there's a chance, there's like a 1 in 7 chance that if you pick the right city, you're like 2 miles away, just because it's gonna be okay. That makes more sense.
Yeah, and see, like I'm starting to get a feel for like Hamburg, Germany is a little bit different than Berlin, which is a little bit different, and like there's New Zealand has like the, it's kind of the curved and it's got like the 2 chunks.
Yeah.
I don't even know the cities off the top of my head. But there's one all the way in the north and there's one on the south part of the top little island there.
Yeah.
And the one on the south is like really like looks like San Francisco with the hills. And the one on the top is a lot more flat. So if it's like, if I get New Zealand, and
that's hilly,
works
you're like okay.
75, 80% of the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just like Brisbane or like Melbourne, Australia. Like I don't know yet how to, kind of determine those 2 things. But yeah, there's let's see, a few others here.
Scooters, bikes.
He already guessed.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. I feel like whenever I see lots of scooters and lots of bikes, I'm thinking not USA.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, and it's going to be hard for you to see, but there's like.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Friggin'.
So it's it's like insert. Put all Asian countries in a hat.
Yeah.
Shake it up and pull one out. But I'm getting a little bit better with. I don't know the language yet. I don't know the languages to be able to determine. I'm not a weeb, okay? So I don't know, Japanese from Chinese from, but if it looks like it would be on Squid Games, it's South Korea. If the roads, if it looks like really, really modern and the roads look like if I dropped a sandwich with cold cuts
eat it
on the pavement, I would be like, that's fine. I'd pick it up and eat it. Then it's probably Japan. There's one that I determined. I was literally staring at concrete and a small sign, and I knew where I was after about 2 seconds.
Jeez, bro.
So yeah.
So where the flip was this? You're thinking
I think it was Taipei.
Taiwan?
I still haven't gotten a 5,000 yet on this.
That's a 49.98.
Yeah. You got to be like within feet. I found my face. I'm like,
yeah. Jeez, bro. Holy.
It's kind of like the same cities. Oh yeah.
Warning, but then not English, but then English. Which I guess makes sense for most big cities, that there's going to be any tourism to, that they would list things in English as well. But we're Asia somewhere.
I think I might have seen either this exact sign or maybe it's just like common.
Okay. You're like, I know where that poisonous rat bait is. That I can't believe you're making a guess based on this.
Eating my Panera bread. might be Taiwan.
Jeez,
300 yards.
300 yards. The
See, that's
49.99.
49.99. Yeah. So mad,
Oh
dude.
my god.
But so like it's just so satisfying. Like, not that any of this stuff is particularly like, it's not incredibly difficult,
course.
but again, for someone who could not fill out a single fucking country or state anywhere, I'm just so ignorant. After less than a week.
Exactly.
Of playing.
It's less about you being like, look at this crazy flex, and more about being like, look at how much better I've gotten in 2 weeks or 10 days. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Left-hand drive.
Those lights are definitely weird.
Yeah, so left-hand drive.
Worcestertown?
Wadestown. That already gives me vibes. Like, for some reason, that, and I don't even remember what this is, but now just thinking, that to me is just like a New Zealand friggin' name. I don't know why. I'm not
Zealand
sure.
ass
And again,
name.
Like it's hard to say if my like any of these gut feelings make sense or not. There might be an explanation, but so this is the one that's like really hilly. This looks like New Zealand.
Oh.
And it looks like this could literally be Vancouver too. Like I'm going for it. And I should have gone Wellington. So remember, this is what I was talking about. Auckland is the flat one. Wellington is the one that looks like San Fran.
Yeah.
I'm going.
Hitting that beef, Wellington. Damn. 1 point difference is crazy.
And 1,400 yards. It's like, god damn. And so, another silver too is able to get that, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like it's that crazy, but it's like
I mean, never in a million years would I've gotten that, but yeah.
No, I mean, give you a week of playing and you'd figure that out. Dude. Oh, this one. Dude, this is the next few are kind of funny. Ow, fuck. It's so frustrating when you're like,
there's so many.
Oh, so this one, there was like a country name or a city name on like the van. And I was looking for, I'm like, I don't know where dude, that's the worst when I know the country or the city and I can't find it.
Yeah, that's almost, yeah. I see what you mean.
And it's obviously most of the time embarrassing where it's like, where's Sri Lanka? Oh, god damn it, where's Sri Lanka? Like, I know it's an island over here, but
name for a place.
Now, the funny thing is that I couldn't find it, but it wasn't that place. But watch what I ended up with.
Where this is.
This clip doesn't really show. I mean, it was mostly just like there's some pavement.
Yeah, I mean, based on the border, doesn't seem like there's a lot to go on.
And where I guess here, I'd never been to before.
in GeoGuessr.
Yeah, in GeoGuessr. Well, definitely not in real life.
Just
a random place in Botswana.
Dot? Yeah, what if it's this dot in Botswana?
Because literally, I'm like, there's dirt. It's not green. It's not lush. And I'm like, this is the biggest name here. And there's like a 50-50 chance that these people will choose like Cuba or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, just get something down.
Yep, put something on the board. How was it?
8 miles.
8 miles. Look at your face.
I'm just like, I don't actually understand. And then now watch this one. Is this Senegal? This looks just like the same fucking place. So Senegal is like on the kind of upper left side. It's like a really common one.
Okay.
But yet I'm like, it looks just like. I'm gonna go here again. I don't know, dude. Oh. 3 miles.
You're the Botswana king, bro.
I've had Sri Lanka 7. Literally the next one.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
All right. Instantly, I have a guess. Oh, no, wait. This wasn't. Shit. I put the other clip next to the wrong one. Yeah, so that's Senegal.
Oh, okay. $49.95. Holy, look at that face. You knew.
Yeah.
You knew. You dirty dog.
At the last second. Oh yeah, so he guessed. All right. I'm willing to bet you that he went. I was thinking Ghana. I'm like, I think he chose Ghana. It's so funky now, dude, because like I like am so much of a silver that I know what other silvers are gonna.
Yeah.
And we're exactly wrong 2,000 miles away. It's so
in like
common
different
how
directions.
No, like
Oh,
we're right next to each other.
But yeah.
Because we're using the same logic. You know, like we're using the same silver logic.
Yeah.
You know, or you see the Tokyo food sign, even though it's like actually in
That one clip
Toronto.
you showed me where it was Shanghai. It was the sign, and you both went to Shanghai, and it was in like freaking Africa or something.
Never mind. Oh, 500 yards.
Oh.
So like I even knew I'm like, I think he's gonna go Ghana because when I saw it, my first instinct was Ghana. So I'm like, this motherfucker's gonna go Ghana.
Jeez.
Ukrainian.
Yeah. Water.
Southwest, there's water. So this is
water, definitely.
I'm still trying to learn.
Dude,
every language has actual real letters, just with extra shit on top. Okay. This is like all of Europe.
For sure.
So Southwest, there's water and then mountains.
What? Where'd you pick?
This is in Croatia. Zadar. So I saw, Southwest there was like water and land kind of, and I'm like, I don't know. It could have been a bunch of different places, but Vegedoslava? Oh, yeah.
Vegedoslava?
Anything that looks like Vegetable Slavia or nearby?
Oh my god.
No, it's Montenegro, isn't it?
Insane. $49.99.
And that was a place that I'd never been before.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm like,
yeah.
Because 98 times out of 100, it's a major city. Every now and then, it's some back-ass like bridge.
Yeah.
Like they sprinkle in these little challenges here and there.
yeah. That's how you get out of silver.
And if I ever get them, it's like incredible. So anyway,
dude, I freaking love that.
I'm having so much fun, man.
Yeah, it's cool the way. So it's like interesting even realizing that because it makes sense, but I had just never thought about how like they get harder as you go up the ranks. Like, I guess in my brain, I just thought it was like the lower ranks are going to get more wrong. So like the average amount gotten wrong. But that, as soon as I think about that, that wouldn't be fun to like play at Rainbolt's level as a silver.
Yeah.
You'd never get it, right? So like, that makes sense. So it's one of those things where you can
sure when it's bronze, it's like the Eiffel Tower, the fucking Golden Gate Bridge,
and you can see like the path. I mean, like the scaling is infinite. Like there's always more to learn. Like, you know what I mean? So it's cool that they have it set up that way, and it just continues to like feel rewarding. It's just it's only going to get like cooler to get the right guess from here, because it's going to start being stuff like license plates, stop signs, vegetation, light posts, you know what I mean? And that's just going to feel cooler to like have that information locked away.
Yeah, I'm at the point right now where I see a thing and I'm like, I recognize this obscure thing, this particular like construction sign.
Yeah.
This, thing on the power lines,
Yep.
But right now I don't yet have the mapping of the place to the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I just see the thing a million times and I see the place a million times. I haven't connected the dots.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But it's also crazy. Like it's so funny because how infinitely hard it gets. There was like watching Rainbow. There was one where
dude,
there were 20 pros, and they all went. It was like an uphill road that looked like totally volcanic, and
Okay.
they all guessed in like the big island in Hawaii, and it was fucking Idaho. It was just Idaho. It was like,
Idaho?
apparently Idaho is like has a high potential for volcanic eruption or something.
What?
Idaho volcano. Idaho has a history of volcanic activity. Craters potentially active craters of the moon volcanic field. Yeah. Yep. Central Idaho.
Central Idaho. I mean, I always
More
say
you
a
know.
hotbed for volcanic activity is Idaho.
Yeah, and it's kind of sad how little the United States is used at this ranking because and the way that everybody explains it is that like, you know, it would be so unfair for people. It's like, well, I'm 9 out of 10 of these things are in Germany or Sweden or Norway, and everyone I'm playing is from fucking Germany, Sweden, and Norway.
Yeah.
You know, like, why can't it be Orlando for once?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Um,
For sure.
Yeah, and the meme is true, dude. There are so many times where I'm like, this is Chicago, this is South Africa, this is New Zealand, and it's Vancouver. Vancouver is everywhere, bro. It's everywhere.
The sky is basketball and the earth is Vancouver.
I'm like, this is Italy, this is France, it's fucking Vancouver. And it's like,
Really?
unless I see a .ca.
I didn't realize Vancouver was chill like that, bro. They got all the biomes.
There's that, it might have been a Jacob Geller, or it might have been Every Frame a Painting, actually. They had a video about Vancouver. Vancouver's a place where they go to film movies.
Oh, yeah.
That take place in all around the world,
Yes.
and it doesn't matter. They can just film it in Vancouver, and it works.
I have heard that, actually.
I think it's Every Frame a Painting, Vancouver. Yeah, Vancouver never plays itself. There's never a movie that takes place in Vancouver.
But it's all filmed in Vancouver.
It's all filmed in Vancouver.
Vancouver never
cheap.
plays itself. That's a great title.
Sorry, I unplugged my headphones. What'd you say?
You saw my mouth moving. I said Vancouver never plays itself is a great title.
Yeah. Normally what happens when that happens is I plug in the thing before you're done talking so I can just kind of infer. But this time I plugged it in and I looked and you were silent. I was like, shit. Oh, fuck.
Oh, man. That's awesome, bro. That's pretty sick. GeoGuessr Pro coming in hot. Hell yeah. We got a little bit of Tarkov news, not nearly as much as last week, but before we hop into that, I do want to take this second and thank the sponsor for this episode, and that is Cash App. I have unironically been using Cash App for like over a decade. I remember it was like the OG. It was like the first app that you can like send money back and forth. Everyone in the friend group had it, and it was like the perfect tool for like, I'm paying for everyone's this. Everybody just Cash App me this. It became the like Kleenex where it was like, can you Cash App me? Yo, can you Cash App me? Can you Cash App me the thing? Genuinely, like that is how my friend group used Cash App for a really long time. Really easy to set up, super simple, super intuitive. It's awesome. And I used it a lot back in the day, but now they have an insane amount of new features where like you can partner, obviously link it to your bank and do all sorts of stuff. There's like direct deposit. So if you direct deposit at least $300 in paychecks each month and use the Cash App card for purchase, you can earn up to 4% annual interest on your savings with no hidden fees and no minimum balance. The Cash App card, I remember thinking the Cash App card was so sick because you can like do all sorts of designs. You can draw whatever you want. You can like draw your own signature on it or anything. Like we all had like crazy Cash App cards. They just like feel sick. So you can use the Cash App card as well. You can hit your savings goal even faster, turning on the round up feature. So you can just link it to your banks. And if you use the Cash App card, every purchase, and you turn on the round up feature, every purchase you make is rounded up to the nearest dollar, and the spare change is automatically put into your savings, which has got that 4% interest rate. So it's pretty sick. Once again, very simple, very intuitive, very easy to use, very accessible. And now with all the different like banking features that they do, you can not only, I mean, the way they put it is don't let your money sit around and gather dust, make it work for you. Take advantage of the high interest savings, the roundup feature. I did that for a long time as well. That stuff adds up over time because we're all swiping our cards all the time these days. So For a limited time, new Cash App customers can use our exclusive code and earn some additional cash. For real, just download Cash App and use our exclusive referral code, which is Pogcast, and in your profile. And then when you send $5 to a friend in 14 days, you'll get $10 dropped into your account right away. That's money. That's Cash App. Terms apply. Cash App is a financial services platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash Apps, provided by Cash App partners. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC. Direct deposit, roundups, and overdraft coverage and discounts provided by Cash App. Block Inc. brand. Sorry, I read that weird. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures. But thank you so much to Cash App for sponsoring this episode.
Bro, that roundup thing is actually so true, and that also
100%.
reminded me. Have you ever heard of the thing you can do with your mortgage? Oh my god, my Steam Deck. Remind me later. No, actually, skip this version. I never want to update you ever again. Have you ever heard of the whole thing about paying your mortgage bi-weekly?
Yes, because there's not always 4 weeks in a month, and so you end up with a couple extra payments. Is it something like that?
Yeah, when you pay half of your mortgage every 2 weeks, there's 52 weeks in a year, so 52 half payments is the equivalent of 26 half payments is the equivalent of 13 months worth of paying. So you're basically paying an extra mortgage payment every year.
Yes.
And I think the number is, I want to say it's like 6 years earlier.
Because
you
that extra goes to the principal, and that over time dramatically reduces the amount of money you have to pay interest on, which can cut your mortgage by years. Yeah.
So if you got a mortgage at 6.5% interest for $300,000 and you did biweekly payments, you pay off your mortgage 4 years earlier, but you'd save $30,000 in interest.
That's crazy.
So
yeah,
there you go. There's your, this is not financial advice.
Yeah, there's your, this is not financial advice. Dude, the roundup stuff, I've used that on a bunch of different things. It's little stuff like that goes a long way. Stuff that you don't have to think about, and it's not that big of a deal at a time. And
yeah, think about back in the day when you paid cash, you'd always take, you'd be at Starbucks and you were always just had the guilty clink, clink, clink.
Oh yeah, the quarter or whatever when
they hand you back a 1 and change, it's like, oh, I gotta give them the 1 and the change.
Yeah,
and I can't just give them the change and keep the 1 cheaps on it.
But now you're just clinking into your own savings account. You're tipping yourself. It's your own tip jar. Yeah. Tipping culture, full circle. Anyways, yeah, in the Tarkov world, not a lot. I mean, it's been really weird because we had the hardcore wipe, and then the day after they added the quests back, and then it was level 1 traders, and then at the 1 week mark, last Wednesday, they added Therapist, Jaeger, and Proper. So we were all expecting that when level 2 traders dropped, we would get all the level 2 traders. But then they just dropped Jaeger, Proper, and Therapist. So then we were like, okay, it'll probably be a couple days or a week, and then we'll get the rest of the level 2 traders. And then we talked about last week how then it was a couple days later and they unlocked Ref for Arena and all of that kind of stuff. Then it was yesterday. No, I think it was 2 days ago. So I think it was Monday. They added Mechanic level 2. And they're like, okay. And then today they added Peacekeeper level 2. So there is no rhyme or reason where people are always trying to figure it out. We have half, we're going to get the other half. They're just they gave us 3 once, and then they gave us Ref, and then they gave us Mechanic, and then they gave us Peacekeeper, and it's just been one at a time. And basically, this all goes back to basically making the point we were making last week, which is that any fun to be had from the limited traders, they keep making it aware how arbitrary and bad it is, because a great example is the fact that you know, they're using the blunt instrument instead of the scalpel to artificially push down the gear and like extend the early game and, you know, whatever you want to call it. They're using the hammer, not the scalpel. When they just flick on Peacekeeper, what happens? Suddenly, the whole community is going to the fishing gear place where you plant the SV98 and the multi-tool on Shoreline. So it almost like does the opposite, where it
makes everything even more predictable.
The funnel of Tarkov used to only get wider every day. Day one, everyone's doing their ground zero tasks, right? And only the ground zero tasks, because everyone has to do the ground zero tasks to progress. Day two, most people are doing like the pocket watch and getting the Jaeger letter on woods. But in most wipes, by day 7, everyone's at a different progression level and everybody prioritizes something different. Where like a lot of my friends go interchange as fast as possible. As soon as they get like level 18, they unlock Ragman level 2, they blitz that. Whereas I like getting the Shoreline tasks done as soon as possible. As soon as I get Peacekeeper, I'm Shoreline. So in a normal wipe, every day, the predictability of where people are going to be widens. It's still relatively predictable because we know everyone's doing quests. This is doing the opposite.
It's like,
we're all waiting. They flip on Peacekeeper. We're all at the freaking boat trying to do that shit. And then we're waiting. And like, I'm already dreading them turning on Ragman because interchange is just going to be like horrendous. Every single person is going to be doing the exact same tasks. Like people are camping the boat. People are going to be camping Ollie Logistics. And so it's creating, it's just showing how arbitrary and blunt the tool that they're using is, because it kind of like creates the opposite effect after a while. Like you said, it's almost like this, where you have like a day or two where you're like, oh yeah, it's kind of fun. You know, not everybody, you know, I'm not level 70 right now. You know, I don't have max level traders, but then the next day they flick on a trader and then you're just like, oh, I could have done that. Like, why are we doing it now? I could have just had this done a week ago. It's not really meaningful. So that happened today where Peacekeeper turned on and everybody was on Shoreline trying to do the same tasks. And so it's whatever. So yeah, so it's interesting that there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to like when they're unlocking them, who they're unlocking, in what order. Now we don't have Skier and Ragman. And it's weird because like Skier is one of the easier traders to get to level 2.
Yeah, he's like one of the, doesn't he have like the earliest quests?
Yeah, it's like
I always start with Skier.
You normally get like Therapist and Skier level 2 really early, and Peacekeeper and Proper up, and then like Jaeger and Ragman later. But we got Ragman, we got Jaeger level 2 early, and we still don't have Skier level 2. Like that's like a day 1, day 2 for someone like me. Obviously not everybody, but someone like me that streams. And so it's we can't figure out if like they're not taking the normal progression curve and then just squashing it, because I don't know. It's so weird. So it's hard to figure out what they're trying to do.
Does it mess with like the trader stock because it like unlocks and then is everybody like buying everything out so they're just out?
No. So at some point in the past like 2 years, they made it personal limits. So there's like basically an infinite amount of the item, but you can only buy 3. So they used to have global limits and personal limits. Now they only have personal limits. Does that make sense?
I mean, what you're saying makes sense.
Yeah.
The decision, I don't know. So, and does it still have like 27 million as like the fucking quantity?
Yes.
It's just like an individual.
Yeah. I mean, it's been better. It's way better than both personal limits and global limits. That's for sure.
They're just like, then just like don't have a limit.
Yeah. Too, and some of the things the limits are on are like crazy, like the tri-zips. Oh, I forgot to mention though, a W that came from this patch. Now, once again, it's a small W. But you know how they had done over the years all of the RMT changes where like you can't drop anything anymore. So like, you know, I need one more set of bolts to get, you know, workbench level 2 in my hideout. And then like Velian has 10 extra bolts. Back in the day, he could like bring some and drop them for me. But then he couldn't. They made it so almost everything in the game, you can drop one of them. So like that has been helpful for like keys and stuff where, you know, somebody, you know, comes in and is like, oh, I don't need this key anymore. Like, let me drop it for you. You're going to do this quest later. That's nice. Or like, I'm like, Vel, do you have any drills? And he's like, yeah. Do you have any defuel? And I'm like, oh yeah. And we, you know, trade one. So that's been nice that they kind of, but it's only one. The other day I needed 2 med tools. He was like, oh, I have 2. I was like, perfect. And then he couldn't drop the other one, but he could drop the one. It was like, so it's like weird.
But you can drop one and then just go into another raid and drop another.
Yes. Yeah. So it's, once again, it's exactly, it's better than before because we couldn't drop any before, but it's like weirdly like tedious and I don't know. I can't speak to the state of RMT, but at this point I'm like, bro, who's RMT in the med tools? Can you just let me drop these 2 for my homie? I don't know. But that has been a change, and a change that has been, you know, at least mildly helpful now that you need 7 trillion things for the hideout. So that's been nice. Another thing I think I forgot to mention last week is it's weirdly seemingly only on Shoreline, but the static key spawns. You remember way back in the day, there was like on the beach, on the beach chair on Shoreline, there was like a key spawn, and in the power station on the chair, and like in the cottage hanging on the thing. All those key spawns on Shoreline are like 50x. It's awesome. So like I found like I found like 6 cottage backdoor keys, which is the key for the locked cottage at the 2 cottages on Shoreline. And there's a couple quests in there, and getting there normally, like I remember in 2018, Pestily and Anton were making videos on like, and Deadly, like, here's the key spawn, farm it. And it felt like over time since the flea market, in response to the flea market, they nerfed the static spawns, and the thing for keys was just filing cabinets and jackets. Like keys were RNG, they weren't static spawns anymore. Well, with this wipe, because there's no flea market, they like 50x the static spawns on Shoreline. Now the thing is it feels like it's only on Shoreline, which is sad because that was one of the only times during this wipe where I truly had a moment where I went, oh my God, this feels like 2018 Tarkov. Because I just remember that being a thing, key farming. This was before the flea market was in to begin with. And almost every key at that point, like obviously there were like maybe 15% as many quests in then as there are now. But every quest that had a key that was required, that key had a static spawn. And I remember that being a cool moment where like you ran a couple Shoreline raids and then you found the key and you were like pogging out. You were like, dude, I found the freaking cottage backdoor key. And so it's really cool that they did that on Shoreline. I'm really sad that they didn't do that more places. I don't know if like genuinely there just might not be static key spawns for many other keys because I think they just stopped doing that when the flea market came into the game. I think they just put the keys in the jacket, filing cabinet, scav, loot pool, and then didn't give any more static. But it feels good to find a key again, bro. It's kind of sick.
Remember this here. Let's see. Do you know what he's going for?
Yes.
This was like the only place to find the fucking thumb drive in the entire game.
People would flock. Dude, look at those. Look at the Salua. People would flock to that tent for flash drives, bro. Yes. Oh, man, look at how small the AVS was, bro.
Oh, yeah, the AVS is like a giga rig
it's
now.
It's huge now, and it's armored, yeah.
Oh, yeah, this is before there was even armor.
Oh,
man.
Yeah, flash drive tent. Yeah, exactly. Static spawns feel Now, once again, I'm not saying that everything in the game should have a static spawn. This is actually one of the few like compliments I can give this wipe, because it reminded me of the like this is like video gaming 101, like in an MMO, right? You know where the loot you're looking for is, and then you farm that thing. You do the raid, you do the event, you do the quest looking for the thing. That feels better in certain circumstances than everything can spawn in every container. And because of that, you're just going to have to search a million containers to find it. So finding the cottage backdoor key, finding the West 220 key, it kind of like washed over me. I was like, oh, we need more of this. Because key farming right now is just buy it off the flea or go to streets because there's 700,000 filing cabinets. And that's so tedious. It feels cooler to like, I know the thing I want. I know where it spawns. It's not there. It's not there. It's not there. Ooh, I found it. Instead of just like spinning the wheel, like, you know what I mean? Especially early wipe because none of the keys are examined. You see a key and you're not really excited yet because 90% of the reserve keys are ass. 90% of the streets keys are ass. So like when you're examining it, you're not even excited yet. It's nice knowing what you're looking for and finding it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Some of the like loss of luster comes from just learning the game and like having the experience and the knowledge.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just remember the game. I can almost separate into like two separate eras, and I think it's just as much a reflection of like a change of my experience playing the game as it is a change in the game.
Yeah.
I think both changed, a bit, a lot over the years.
Yeah.
But going from, okay, Prapor wants this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Even having to Google, where do I find this thing? And knowing, so, it's got a 1 of 3 chance of spawning on this chair in this place in Shoreline. Every quest, every raid working on that was like, figure out a way to navigate to, the water plant and get to the chair to pick up the key. And if you get it, you're like, oh my God, I got it, finally. And then that was like the first half of your quest done, and then the second half was like, use the key. Whereas so much of the quests now, they are, you just play the game and you find all the shit you already need 20 quests from now, and it just sits in, I've already got the cowboy hats, I've already got the cigarettes ready, I've already got the this and that. And it's like, that's not as exciting as the unknown key is also another really good one. Like, that's fucking environmental storytelling. Like
100%
going and finding a guy that's dead and he always has the key. Like, I think all of the quests that like require a key, they should have a static spawn.
Yep. I think I've always thought there should be a pretty clear delineation between loot rooms and quest rooms. I know that maybe breaks a tiny bit of immersion, but it allows for much more immersive gameplay and storytelling mechanics because you don't want there to be a static spawn for Dorm's marked room because there's a quest in there, because then it just gets like, it's a game of like, whoever spawns closest to that spawn checks it. And if you don't get that spawn, you don't ever get to check if it's there. You want to be looking for the keys for the quests you're on and then searching erratically for the loot room keys.
Dude, the I don't know if it's the machinery key or whatever for the golden pocket watch in the jacket in that one room that like I don't remember. Maybe now it's different, but like there was never anything really in that room other than hop over the fucking thing, go in the jacket, get the key, and and that also like again that was like some more environmental kind of storytelling. And you're like, this was a guy who lived here who had a story.
100%.
It wasn't just, hey, I'm a dude who wants 75 cowboy hats. It's like, okay, cool. Like,
and so like if you make that distinction between loot rooms and quest rooms, then you're afforded the ability to like buff the spawn of the quest rooms to like 40%, 30%, something where it's not going to break the economy. You're not going to find it every time, but you don't have to just like play the game for 2 weeks searching every filing cabinet you find, hoping you find it. Or the alternative, which has been the status quo for Tarkov for 6 years now, it's go scav literally anywhere, turn that into rubles, buy the key. Like, there's no storytelling there. There's no event. Like you said, the first half of the quest was like getting to the key spawn. Like, there's nothing. It's just...
you mean it's not immersive going onto eBay and seeing that Joe has 757,000 copies of the same key?
Yeah, exactly. And they're all, priced for the fact that there's 40 uses and you only needed to use it the one time. Like, it's just, I think that distinction would be very beneficial for Tarkov. And even to what you said about like, you're so right about challenging how not just how Tarkov has changed, but on how my view of Tarkov has changed because of the knowledge that I have. Like you said, I know how many cigarettes I need, CPU fans, PSUs, cowboy hats, Ushankas, respirators, and stuff like that. And it would be sick. Like, that's another low-hanging thing that would have taken some amount of work, but not an incredible amount of work to go through those quests for the hardcore wipe and change them. If the cigarettes were like the Apollo cigarettes, where you've never needed the Apollos, you need Wilson Strikes and Marlboros. If you needed a bunch of Apollos and these instead of cowboy hats, it's baseball caps.
I was going to say, they should have taken the time over the years. That would be such a god. Just thinking like engineering and designing this feature would be actually so much fun. Basically like procedurally generated quests.
Yeah.
And I realized daily quests aren't they just that?
Yeah. Pretty much.
So like there could have been kind of a middle ground where it's like you have these kind of main, maybe some main quests that are always the same.
Of course.
And then like the kind of secondary quests, which, what I would say are probably, you could make up like 70% of the quests that we have in the game now.
Mm-hmm.
That those could have some, dynamically generated requirement, for items or, it's like, yeah.
Yeah. Like imagine if, Nate Train in chat said like randomized for everybody. Like, I'm not saying this is the best thing to do in any stretch of the word, because there would be issues there. Because like an example I was going to give is like Punisher Part 4, you have to turn in the 5 brown-handled knives that the scavs have. And there's the brown-handled ones, there's the black-handled ones, and the scavs can
green, aren't they green?
And the scavs can also have like shovels now, and they can have crowbars. And imagine if when you got to that quest, it randomized what it asked of you. Now, that could be dangerous because maybe the crowbar is rarer than the knife, and that wouldn't feel good to just like get the rarer one. But if we set that issue aside for a second, let's go back to what we were talking about last week. What did they want to do? They wanted to slow down how fast people progress. Once again, this is just a theory craft here. This isn't what I'm saying would be good for the game. But think about how much slower it would be to progress if you didn't know what item you needed until you accepted the quest. Like, once again, it shows they're coming, like, they came at this problem as if the quests were like the immovable objects. We can't change the quests, so we just have to prevent you from getting them. We're just going to hard lock them. But imagine where you didn't know what cigarettes you needed or how many till you got there. Vitamins Part 2, it's not Ushankas and cowboy hats, it's respirators and balaclavas. And because you don't know, you can't just save everything for every quest. Like the meta nowadays is like, oh, this quest done, farming part 4 done, farming part 5 done. Oh, living hive's not a crime. I have everything I need. Living hive's not a crime part 2. I have everything I need. Think about it, would 20x how long it would take to get to max traders if you didn't know what you needed until you accepted the quest.
Bro, have you seen those? I think they do them like Diablo and like PoE and whatever, these little cartoons that like this is YouTuber that does these cartoons.
Okay.
Someone in chat might know, where they're just like making fun of features or like memes or tropes in those games. And I was just picturing a Tarkov version where, you walk up to Pratboard and he's like, there's a friend of mine who's been looking for you here.
Yeah.
There's this very rare. Yep. right? Like
Exactly.
you know everything. Oh,
Exactly.
hey,
Now-
I've already got 75 cowboy hats.
Now, once again, I'm not saying that would be good for the game. I'm not saying that there wouldn't be issues. What I'm saying is, do you listeners see that with just some conversation, you could come up with unique ways to solve the problem? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and here's the thing. One of the things that, some people like, for me personally, I didn't like this. Maybe I'm in the minority, I'm not sure, but having the knowledge of the things that I need in future quests, basically forced me to if I know like 90% of it, then I might as well just have an Excel spreadsheet up with all of it.
Yeah.
And then, in every raid I need to maximize, like I need 7 bolts, I need 14, and that takes away, I think, some element of the game that is like enjoyable in a way, and makes it a little bit more kind of just like, I don't know, item management, like
Exactly.
fucking more Factorio than
It takes
Tarkov.
away
So
the like journey of finding the thing, because
so like what you were saying, not only does it do what you were saying, but it takes away the annoying like mental meta stress load on your brain for needing to get everything. It's like, no, you don't. I'm done with this quest. Hand it in. What is he going to ask for me now? I don't know.
Yeah. Now, I think, like many opinions I have for Tarkov, I think it's too late. Like, I think the best, most elegant solution to the problem that you and me are talking about would, executed the perfect way, would be received poorly by the community, because I think the current mentality that now you and me are definitely like, you and me are assuming the role of the like grumpy old guy outside on the porch back in my day. And for this podcast, I will take that role. But what you and me are talking about is like, this is real early Tarkov. Like we were talking about, where it's like, I don't know what I need. I don't know where what I need spawns. And the journey is like kind of the fun. But but like now what Tarkov is to so many people is the rote memorization. Like that is that feels rewarding. It feels normal. That's what Tarkov feels like. So I actually think it's too late. I don't think you could make that change, because people like knowing everything. They feel like that is a part of in a game where there is so much RNG. They feel like that's something they can hold on to, or at least I know I found the scav backpack or whatever for later. Just in the same way, like I think largely the scav mechanic does more harm for Tarkov than it does good. I would never advocate for them to get rid of scavving in Tarkov, because it's too ingrained in what Tarkov is to ever change. But I could make an argument, of why I think they should have done it this way or that way or this or whatever. And so in the same, like when you were saying that, I'm tracking with you so much, but like, I think it's just too late. I think that if they had those ideas in 2019, it would have been sick.
Yeah. And I mean, most of this stuff is like, when I'm talking about it, when we were having these conversations 4 years ago, they were in hopes that maybe someone might hear them.
Yes.
Maybe it would inspire someone at PSG. Now it's, man, I really wish they had done this way back in the day. I think the game would have been better for it.
Yeah.
But I mean, 1.0
exactly,
it's
exactly
not happening.
100%. The
this isn't me
conversation
even advocating for the thing. I know it's impossible. It's just like
we're both there. We're both there. It's like, we know that there's no changing it. It's just fun to talk about. Because even like some of the messages in chat, like I'm not trying to flame anybody, but it's just like just now reading some of these messages like confirms what I just said, where like it was like panic, like you can't randomize the thing, me knowing the thing is the thing. And it's like, I don't know. It just it kind of proves that it's like somebody said, then it would just encourage everybody to hoard everything. That right there shows like everything we just talked about coming together. It's like, no, the point is to not necessarily have to hoard anything, but just like get the quest and then go find the thing. But Tarkov now is hoard everything. So if you were to make this
what else are you
change,
gonna do with all the stash slots you paid for? Motherfucker?
Exactly. So right now, if you made the change, the mindset of hoard everything is too strong. It would just be like, well, now I have to hoard even more things. When the ethos of it is actually the opposite, you have to hoard less things, and the game would just be intuitive on where you would find the thing you were looking for. Crazy. But once again, it's the game molded the community. And the community molded the game. It's gone both ways. Like, I don't fault somebody who it's their third wipe. Like, if it's your third wipe and you heard me say, like, what if they randomized the thing? You're probably panicking because in the past year and a half, you're just now finally like, I think I got it. Like, I know I need cowboy hats. And so to hear me say that is like insanity. So I understand that the game molds the player into the horde mentality, into the rote memorization, because that's how it's been. Exactly. Just if you're listening to this, I'm not saying that they should do this now. I'm saying it's fun to look into an alternate dimension where in 2019 they made the decision that every wipe, these 20 quests, not all the quests, but just these 20 quests required random items, how that would have changed the meta of 8 junk boxes by week 1 or else you're a failure because you have to hoard everything. And it's just like, I don't know, man. So
and there's
again, neither here nor there, but
it's fundamentally impossible to go back to the way it was, right? But like, I guess maybe to communicate to some people who might not know, but like, at least for me personally, back in the day, you know, I only ever had like 1 or 2 quests at a time.
Yeah, that's insane to think about, but yeah,
you know, I mean, because there was only 3 or 4 traders. And
yeah,
you know, even if I were to like read the wiki, that would just it wouldn't like give me necessarily every single answer. And even if it did, I wouldn't even know like where's the water treatment plant on Shoreline. I've never been there.
Yeah.
So, you know, I remember when this one guy, I don't even know who it was, dude. I feel like it's probably like some legendary person in the community that I've since forgotten because I was so new that like I almost didn't pay attention. But I remember they were the person that took me around on Factory in like 0.4, and I was like Timmy McTimmyson, you know.
Yeah.
And he had Fast MT4 and the dude, this is literally how long I've been away from Tarkov. I forget the name of the gun. The one that shoots SP6.
Oh, the Val or the VSS?
I almost said the FAL. And I'm like, it's not the FAL. Yeah, the Val. And I remember him saying the one rule about Factory is the floor is lava. And he was just up in the scaffolding, just.
Oh.
And I was just like, whoa. And I remember he dropped me a factory key, and he's like, you don't know it yet, but this is going to be important for you. And I remember him, and he dropped me a fucking Salewa, and he's like, you're going to need this too. And I remember, cause I think he needed like 2 or 3 Salewas for. And I remember it took me like 2 weeks. And here's the thing. I went to Shoreline because I was raiding. Like, let me make this very clear. I was going on a raid. What that meant was I was leaving my home base to go find and scavenge.
Yeah.
And to come back.
Yep.
It was hoping I could kill 1 or 2 guys, take a gun or whatever, and if I happened to find a Salewa, I didn't know where they were. I didn't know that the medical floor was on, you know.
Yep.
So like that was like the mentality of early Tarkov, was just like, it was similar to, you know, maybe I'm trying to think of what other games. I don't know if it would be like Rust or whatever, where you have like a home base and you're like, okay, let me get all my shit together. I'm going to leave to go gather supplies.
Oh yeah, Rust or DayZ.
For some set amount of time to get back.
Yeah.
That's the way the raids felt. Yeah, like DayZ.
Yes.
You know, you have kind of your own little personal mission, and the quests are just something to do passively on the side.
100%.
Now it's all you do. The quests are the reason why you play, and the raids are just the background noise.
And that's a great, like, I've said a million times on the cast before about how, like, when we used to theorize about open world Tarkov and stuff like that, I would always liken it to DayZ and be like, how sick would it be to like go on a med run, to go on an ammo run? Like I'm running low on good ammo. I can't buy all the good ammo from the traders or the flea market. I'm going on an ammo run. I'm going to reserve because I got these keys and I'm hoping to find good ammo. And I never really put together until now where it's like in DayZ, you're the author of the run. And so the intersections with the rest of the world enhance it. Because I was on an ammo run. I killed a guy who not only had a bunch of ammo, but he had a bunch of other shit I need. Oh my God, now I'm going back home. And in Tarkov, the raid gets in your way.
If you die, you're just like, oh, I gotta do another
go plant
raid.
my thing. If I see another PMC between here and my thing, I'm not happy about it.
Yeah.
The existence, every part of existing in a raid, seeing scavs, seeing a boss, seeing other players, detracts from my experience of I need to go plant this jammer here. And I need to get this quest because this quest unlocks this quest and this quest unlocks the quest that I have all that shit in my hideout, bro. I have all that shit in my stash and I can turn all that in if I can get this quest. And so why is there a PMC at this quest? Come on. Of course there's a guy there. He spawned closer. You get this like frustration where like the game gets in the way because you're trying to do the quest as opposed to, that's what I've always loved about like Rust or DayZ, even though I haven't played those games, is that the game was the point. The story, the experience. I went on ammo run, but then I ended up over here and this, that, and the other. It's like, yeah.
Dude, here's the difference between old Tarkov and new Tarkov. Old Tarkov was about the fear of the unknown and the adrenaline rush of like emergent combat.
Yeah.
New Tarkov is dopamine.
Yes. Yeah.
It's ching, 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 ching. You gotta sell, buy,
Yeah,
gotta craft,
yeah.
gotta do whatever because I'm a fucking zoomer. Like,
No, I mean, seriously, it's like, exactly. Like, it's about stacking. Now, once again, I am this way. So I'm not saying, like, what I'm about to say is I'm not judging you. What I'm saying is the game molded the player. The game maybe back in the day was supposed to be this. They didn't have the resources for that. So the game was this, but then the game was the thing. It wasn't necessarily supposed to be long enough that now this is just the game and it informs how people play the game and interact with the game. So I'm not in any way, but what I'm saying.
I don't think there's anything they could do to even prevent what I'm saying.
Yeah. So it's like, I'm not judging, but 100% you're right. It's like, if you're not going to Lighthouse and turning in 4 quests at one time, what are you even doing? It's like you said, back in the day, you only had 4 quests. But if I'm not stacking, marking the tanks with marking the tankers, with hitting the drug lab, with hitting the OR room and getting the files, what am I doing? You know what I mean? And so it's like, it is that dopamine hit of like, how many quests can I complete in one raid? How many, can I get through Punisher or whatever? Once again, I'm not saying that they can change it. I wouldn't know how they would change it. And I don't even think they necessarily should to a certain extent. They're too close to the touchdown. You know what I mean? We're at the 99-yard line. It's too late to make these fundamental changes, but it just is interesting. Yeah. To see those changes.
Yeah. And everything I'm saying, again, it's less about making changes. It's less about woulda, coulda, shoulda. And it's more about, hey, this is the way things were.
Yeah.
Hey, kids, come on, have a seat over by Grandpa on the bench and have some lemonade. I'll tell you some stories about Nam or whatever the fuck, right? Like, it's because I just don't, I don't know that. And I genuinely don't know if, like, maybe new players still have this experience. My guess is that they probably have, like, a semblance of that experience, because they have the unknown, they do have the adrenaline rush, they do have like the fear, but I think you could maybe, if you sheltered yourself enough from the outside world, I think you could maybe experience Tarkov close. But here's the thing. If you're listening to this podcast, you've already exposed yourself to too much.
100%.
Sorry, but you haven't.
No, you're 100% right. I think, and it's impossible to know how big of a number this is, but I do think that there are people that their friends just get them into Tarkov. They maybe watch a couple YouTube videos. They don't follow Nikita on Twitter. They don't follow me on Twitter. And they get like 70% of that experience where they just don't know what they're doing and they're figuring it out as they go, and they ask their friend and their friend helps them with a quest. And like that's old Tarkov. You know what I mean? Which is why, once again, I push back on this, like Nikita tweeting like that we're trying to go back to old Tarkov. It's like, because all of the solutions you and I come up with for like how we would get back to old Tarkov, we immediately have to qualify. Yeah, but you can't make that change. It's too late. So it's like, Nikita, like, what are you like? I'm just so interested. Where is your headspace? Like, what are you doing? Are we focused on the future or the past? Are we focused on landing the plane gracefully with the game that you have made? Or are we focused on, in 2017, I should have made different decisions and maybe the game would be different now? Because I do think... Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I just do think that most of my opinions on... I used to hold a lot of opinions on like what Tarkov should be. And I genuinely have let most of them go because I think almost all of my opinions on what Tarkov should be fall under the category of, even if they listened to me and even if they did it in the most perfect way and executed on it well, it would get rejected by the community because the game has just existed in this way for so long that this is the game. It's like, I had to let go of like, well, this isn't how the game is going to be, or this isn't how the game should be. It just is how it is for now. I had to let that go and be like, no, this is the game. And so I don't even have opinions on what I think it should be. I'm just like, well, this is it now. And like, we can talk about like, oh, what if they had done this or what if they had done that or whatever. Like the other day I had a conversation on stream about like, what if they got rid of scavenging and every time you die, it was like dark and darker, where you spawn back in your stash with a pistol, a PACA, a 6P47, headphones, cheese, and it's like, instead of scav raids, like you could infinitely run that free kit if you want. And like, we talked all about like how it would change this, that, and the other. And then it was like, yeah, but this will never happen. Like, it's fun to theory craft, but all of my opinions are just in that category of like, but it's impossible. So it's just kind of vapor to talk about.
Yeah, dude, picture here, it's metaphor time. Picture a relationship where, a couple gets together in college, they fall in love, it's all great, then they get married, 15, 20 years go by or whatever, and they've both changed. The husband is, maybe he's bitter asshole, that just doesn't give her any attention, whatever, right? And then she sits him down and basically is like, something's got to change. And he's like, don't worry, I'm gonna make it like it used to be. I'm gonna change and things are gonna be like they used to be. And what he wants to do is go back to the gym because he was really fit back then.
Yeah.
Missing that's not what she's missing.
Yeah.
That's Tarkov. That's Nikita saying, we're gonna make Tarkov like old Tarkov again. He's like, I'm gonna go back to the gym. It's like, that wasn't why we fell in love, Nikita. Okay.
That wasn't why we fell in love. Yeah. So that was like a long, diatribe, but just on, I don't know, all the different things. And it's just interesting. The quests. Oh yeah. That's how it started. We're getting traders piecemeal. And whenever we get a new one, it's in equal parts, like exciting and terrifying. Because it's exciting because it's like, okay, now I can progress farther. Thank you, Nikita, for giving me the biscuit. That's, the ticket that says I can progress farther. But the flip side is like, now everyone's going to be doing this quest because this is the one, you know what I mean? So, and then in another like funny example of like, oh man, it's just like, I don't know. I don't want to pile on, but it's just a funny example of like them not thinking about the thing all the way through. And just like, once again, I don't even feel bad saying that because like this is an example of how they showed it, right? They released Ref, and I heard that they had increased the amount of GP coins things you need from Ref, but I remember telling you last week, if they had increased the amount it was, I hadn't noticed because everything was still so affordable using GP coins. And so it's like they released Ref, and I don't see how anyone at BSG could see that as anything other than undermining the hardcore wipe, right? Like bunch of cases, bunch of good gear, bunch of suppressors, really easy to get GP coins in Arena. There was a lot of pressure because everybody was like, what the fuck? Like the day after we recorded the podcast, they tweeted balancing changes to the hardcore wipe, rebalance the prices of everything from ref. Everything from ref is now like double the double. So like now cases are like hundreds of GP coins. These good guns are hundreds of GP coins. So now it got to the point where it was like, you really would have to grind Arena to get the GP coins to do the thing. But they just control A, double. When you go through the battle pass, you're unlocking cosmetics, different colored balaclavas and glasses and half masks. These are all cosmetics that you unlock via the battle pass. And when you unlock them via the battle pass, you can use them in Tarkov. You buy them for GP coins from ref. But now they had quadrupled the amount that like now in order to get the balaclava, just to flex my Arena thing was like 100 GP coins. So then 2 days later, we got balancing changes to the hardcore wipe, reduce the price of cosmetics. And it's like, it just shows that at no point were they like thinking about what they were doing. They're like, oh, yeah, let's just do ref. And then it was like, oh, ref is bad? Just quadruple everything on ref. Oh, we shouldn't have done the cosmetics. Oh, why didn't we think about that? Lower the price of the cosmetics. And it's like, it was a perfect, just following that was a perfect like, yep. The old spaghetti factory.
Yeah, I have no words.
Yeah, I mean, it literally was just don't want to harp on it, but it was just a fun example of like, what are we doing? Let's just like, somebody's job should be like thinking about this shit before we hit go. Yeah. And then the only other like thing I've had floating around my head over the past week or two has just had nothing to do with the hardcore wipe, but just a continual, it is of my opinion that the strength and endurance skills, like right now, you start at level 1, you end at level 51. Whatever strength and endurance level 30 is, or 25, that should be level 1. And
so it starts off to...
So it's like, if right now I can run 100 meters and then run out of stamina, and at max endurance, I can run 200 meters without running out of stamina, I think level 1 endurance should be 150 meters. Like what I'm saying is that the whole 1 to 51, you know what I mean? We should start at like strength and endurance should be so much higher because the difference between 150 meters and 200 meters is still significant, right? Like that's 33% more or whatever. And so it would still be worth grinding elite strength and endurance. Also, most people want elite perks for the elite perk, right? Like the strength perk is like your gun doesn't weigh anything, your gun and your helmet or whatever. So it's like they don't have to be, the difference between elite strength and level 1 strength doesn't have to be this insane for it to be worth grinding. And the game would be infinitely more fun if everybody could move more at the beginning of a wipe, man. I don't think it should just be me.
Fat and slow.
I don't think it should just be me. Like this isn't like, if anything, this is a change that would benefit more casual players more than me because I get to the medium, the like level 20 strength and endurance much faster than you do. It's a nerf to me because as somebody that gets max strength every wipe, the max strength would be a less of a delta between me and a Timmy. I think we should buff all Timmys, make the game more fun from day one, and it would still be worth grinding elite strength and endurance, but it's just so slow. You just spend so much time throwing your backpack on the ground and waiting. And once again, a measure of how back in the day, there were probably less than half as many items in the game. It's like everything we just talked about informs.
Oh, there was 5% as many items in the game.
Back in the day, or everything we just talked about informs this decision too, because there were less items in the game. There were less quests that required items. I heard that, by the way.
Bob
My wife.
was asking me something.
There were less quests in the game. There were less items in the game, and people knew what they needed less. So everything we just talked about now, you can find everything everywhere. You need everything. You need so much of everything. This wipe, they doubled the everything that you need. So it's just so laborious to like fill up your backpack so quickly and just drop your backpack on the ground, WASD, while you get your stamina back. Pick it up 10 feet, drop your backpack on the ground, WASD. It's like, let's just start with higher strength and endurance, bro. Like, I don't know. Hashtag buff all Timmies.
What are we doing?
Yeah, I just think that would be more enjoyable. And the thing is that change would be beneficial if they didn't tell anybody. They didn't tell anybody. The game would just feel better. Because if you said that you did that, the Chads would be mad because now they would say strength isn't even worth grinding when it would be, definitely. But if you just did that change, because once again, you should start at level 1. Like where you start should be called level 1. It's just what level 1 is should be buffed, right? That's my soapbox. I'm sticking to it. I mean, the whole skill system needs to be worked for sure. But just fundamentally, we're playing a video game and it should be fun and engaging. That's something that I feel more passionate about. I've always felt that way, but I feel more passionate about it playing other games. Because you're like, oh man, you can like move around in these other games. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of sick. There should be a weight system. Yeah, sure. But like, oh man, that'd be sick. Anyways.
Bro. Oh, that just fucking reminded me. This brings back the GeoGuessr. It's a nice full circle.
Yes.
I like once an hour, I fucking mauled. Because guess what? I can't move my fucking guy in GeoGuessr.
Oh.
The fucking Google Maps gets like stuck and you can't go. And it's like, I literally like, I feel like I'm playing Tarkov.
Yeah, it follows
like,
you.
Legitimately.
It follows.
Oh my God, like you're clicking the arrow and it's like moving you backwards. And all of a sudden you're underground in a fucking tunnel. And it's like, and then you hear bing, dick, dick. And you're like, how did he? I can't. I'm fucking whatever. You just click Antarctica and you're like, I lose this one, I guess. That's the way it felt when there was like a twig on the ground and you were like, no stamina, and someone's like coming around the corner. You're like, I can't jump. Oh God.
Yeah. Yep. I literally did that the other day where like I died because I was running and I got stuck on something. I looked down at my feet and it was a duffel bag. I was like, my man would just step over that shit. I don't know.
I would rather trip. Let me go.
Yeah.
Let me go. Oh shit. Fall over and be like, oh, I have to get up.
Yeah.
And run.
Because at least I'm tripping the direction I want to be going.
Yeah, at least I would trip and then onto my stomach and then go and then fucking drop shot.
Yeah.
I'd already be halfway to drop shot.
Yeah.
I'd be the new meta. Oh my God.
For sure.
You just fucking turn around, trip over, do like a back somersault.
Dude, we need Black Ops 6 Omni movement in Tarkov.
I don't know what that is, but it sounds sick.
I'm just kidding. It's like
Omni movement.
Yeah, you can do any input in any direction. So you can like be like moving backwards, like holding S and like jump, and you can like jump backwards. Or you can be like strafing with A and jump to the side. Like any input can be done in any direction. You can like roll and jump.
Yeah. Okay.
And slide.
So if you're, so if like you're moving to the left, and if you're holding A, right, and then you hit like D space, would you like?
You would like drop
back
shot
the other way
to the left. Like you would jump and then fall to the ground leftward ho. You're not just like strafing and then jumping. You're like, you can like drop shot in a horizontal like left. It's crazy,
dude. Hell yeah, Max Payne, dog.
Yeah, it's pretty
remember
much
Max Payne.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
dude. I need to play Max Payne again as an adult because I'm pretty sure when I first played that, it was 2001. Oh my God, I was 13. I bet you. Dog, I remember at one point you're like walking through like this, you're floating through a fucking zone, you hear like your baby that died like crying and stuff, and it's like I wasn't paying attention to really any of that,
like
and now I'm like, yo, I bet you
story.
there's like a dark ass story that I just didn't pay attention to because all I wanted was fucking.
Yeah. I mean, that's all we wanted. Yep. So that's Tarkov. What else we got going on here?
Brother, have you been keeping up with the fucking? I want to say rise and fall, but that when I picture rise and fall, I'm picturing kind of like a bell curve sort of thing. This is more of an upside down J
Yeah.
of the, but more like an L.
Ooh.
For pirate software, dude.
Not really. I mean, I pride myself on not really keeping up with things. The only thing I've seen a little bit of is beefing with Stop Killing Games and like losing the beef. But I don't know much about Stop Killing Games. I think it's like an organization that's trying to get big publishers to like not sunset games in a way where they can no longer be played. I don't really know what Pirate Software's beef with Stop Killing Games was. I just know that every third thumbnail on my YouTube homepage is like Pirate Software face, and then in red letters like it can't get worse.
He's done.
He is done. The L is
Cooked.
bigger than I thought. Yeah. So, but I haven't.
Wow.
I haven't. That's all I know. That's the extent of my knowledge.
It's the whole thing is a massive spectacle for what initially happened with the whole WoW stuff.
We talked about that. Yeah.
His initial reaction, which got, the feedback, the reception it did.
Yeah.
Then, him kind of doubling, tripling, quadrupling down. He went on Dr. K's.
That's right. You told me about that too. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've watched that a couple of times, and it's the only time I've ever watched Dr. K and like genuinely was in pain, cringing like the whole time. And I watched one with like an ex-murderer, and none of them are. I mean, I don't want to get involved in like drama or anything, but I think that this whole phenomena is just interesting. There's just like, I don't know, some like self-awareness there that it was painful. I'll just say that. You should watch it. Actually, if you're going to watch any of Dr. K's, watch the Ammunition one. That was actually incredibly good because she's fucking.
Oh, that's sick. I didn't realize she was on there.
She's incredibly awesome.
Or a while ago.
This was like 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh, that's sick.
It was such a fantastic thing. She's the GOAT.
Yeah.
But anyway, so, and then after all of that whole drama, part of the whole thing is how like normally when people get involved in drama, it kind of peters off.
Mm-hmm.
And for him, it's just been like,
yeah.
And the self-awareness kind of like extends to that because he's like still every video that's critical of him, all 8 million of them, he's in the comment section. Like, it's, I mean, fuck. Like,
mm-hmm.
And then of course, then people are reacting to the comment section, him, disliking comments and responding to things and deleting things. And then he reacts to those videos. It's like, oh my God, it's like, you want it to be done.
Yeah. Stop giving them ammunition.
And that was kind of what I was talking about with the whole Dr. K thing, because Dr. K was like, most people, they have drama. The internet sucks. They're terrible. The internet's terrible. That part is not your fault. They overreact. All of that shit's shitty. But everyone else in the history of the internet, it just kind of goes away. And then they move on. But for you, it isn't. And he's like, Dr. K basically was like, so what's the variable that's different in this equation?
Mm-hmm.
And he was just like, I don't know, man. People just are terrible, and like the internet's just mean. It's like,
you can lead a horse to water.
Fucking oof. Yeah, he had to walk a real tight rope there, Dr. K. He did a good job, but yeah, it was rough. So the whole Stop Killing Games thing, I'm giving like a mega giga simplified version of it.
Yeah.
But so the Stop Killing Games thing was kind of, I don't know, this initiative. I don't know what you want to call it, but kind of a petition that people were trying to get for some government somewhere. I don't know the details. It kind of doesn't matter. I don't think anybody who's interested in this particular story actually really cares.
Yeah. It's not.
If you're interested in Stop Killing Games separately, then yeah, sure. But on this subject, the important part is that it's basically about games that have some kind of online requirement connectivity. Some of them are single player games that have like, there's some games that like you go to the start menu and you want to go play and it's like, oh, I can't connect to the servers. And it's like, this is fucking like Need for Speed 6. Like, why do I need to be connected when I just want to drive around in single player, so but then there's also another nuanced version of that where it's like there's some discussion to be had about some developers, some games, I think many, it makes sense, that if they want to sunset a game, they want to take it offline, that if they're going to do so, that there should be, either like package up the server into something that can be distributed or give the source code out or something so that like at least the community can take it, host it up on servers, run, you could do it locally, like whatever. Because if I paid $50 for a game, whether it was yesterday or whether it was 5 years ago, the Crew is the one that you can't play anymore because EA took it off everyone's library. Okay. So now the issue with Pirate Software, when he responded to he didn't respond to it. He was kind of like I don't know when it happened. I'm not sure of the timing of all this, but basically he had one of his rant monologue things that back in the day at least were the viral shorts that everybody liked to watch. But he was basically like, the problem with Stop Killing Games is, and then he just fundamentally misunderstood kind of the critical core component. And I hate that now I'm saying this and I forget exactly how he got it wrong. I don't remember the details, but basically he Stop Killing Games covers, like, let's say there's like 5 categories of things. He focused on like one. And basically said that doesn't make any sense, and it's bad, it's stupid, and they need to change everything because none of it's going to work and blah blah. So he was basically, it's effectively like saying, "Hi, I'm a charity and I'm raising money for cancer. Please donate." And you're doing cancer research, right? And then someone else who's like famous and has a huge audience goes, "Oh, no. It's not really for cancer research. It's for the horoscope cancer and it has nothing to do with that. So like, I wouldn't give them any money. They need to change." And people are like, "Oh, okay, I'm just not going to do that." It's like, what the fuck? So then it kind of was like, and it sort of stopped. Now it kind of Streisand effect backfired in a good way, in that like then all the negative attention on him ended up on one side of the scale, and the other side of the scale was the Stop Killing Games finally actually got enough people made videos explaining why he was wrong about it. But then the floodgates opened, and then everyone started looking into everything he's ever said about his hacking experience, his time at Blizzard, his programming experience. And one of the things that I ended up watching, a few different people did like basically code reviews. They went through the code.
I saw a thumbnail for that on YouTube or something.
Yeah, because on stream I think he's done some like dev streams. They were able to they had a few clips that were basically almost like screenshots where you can see the code.
Gotcha.
So they didn't really have like massive chunks of code, but they, and they basically like roasted him because it was exactly what you would expect from someone who was either like a new developer with like bad habits, or I would argue even someone with some more experience than a beginner. That's just like, if you were doing a proof of concept, a prototype, you wanted to get something out there. If it was, you're the only person working on it, you're never going to ship it. Like if you look at the million things I've written that I never planned on shipping and never shipped, I didn't architect the code. I didn't have fucking, all the things that I would have normally. Because it ends up being a bunch of extra work where you're thinking in your head like that's just not worth it, because architecting things intelligently, it sets you up for success in the future. It prevents issues in the future. It allows you to find stuff. It makes the code more easier to read, easier to fix, easier to add to. But if you're thinking in your head like no one is ever going to be doing this, fixing this later, adding to it later, so you just end up kind of hard coding a bunch of shit, using magic numbers where you have
for sure,
some variable, actually not even a variable equals. You have like, some logic somewhere where it's like something times 2.1 plus 7. Actually, we talked about this way back in the day with Tarkov's ballistics. It was all magic numbers. It was all just like divide by 3.1, multiply it by the rounded up seal version times 0.93 plus 6. And it's like, what the fuck is all this, And so the guy was basically saying like the right way to do all of this were to be, all of these strings, they should be constants you define somewhere. All of this stuff that's all hard coded as a million things, like that could be in a JSON file, not like 2,200 lines of code. That's all just like something equals 1, something equals 2, something equals 3, something equals 4. It's like, it was really messy and hacked together. Now, so I think like 98% of like what I saw from the people who were doing code reviews, they were absolutely right. Some of it was a little like
you're reaching for stuff to be shitty about.
Well, so there's it kind of, how do I describe this? It's like, if you found out that a guy flossed twice a week or once a week, you were like, and how do you not have any fucking respect for your oral health if you don't floss twice a day? Like, are you kidding me? It's like, brother, like, some of us floss every day. Some of us skip a day or two. Some, you know what I mean? Like, 100%. Like, really? You're not wrong. It's not that it's bad. It's like, but fucking not everybody's perfect all the time.
Exactly.
Not,
but exactly. You're not wrong. Technically, you should floss every day. And that's where the internet turns from like good to bad, is when being right is like weaponized, because then we'll split hairs to be right pedantically about the most, like, you know what I mean? And that normally ends up in the pendulum swinging too far. Like I saw a tweet that I was like checking this morning to see if BSG had released any more traders. And I saw a tweet and it was like, I'm all for the downfall of pirate software, but holy shit. And it was a screenshot and it was just like 72 different YouTube videos. And the thumbnail was just basically all the same. It was like a face and it was like all the different stuff. And it's like, it's just when the content becomes this guy sucks, then, it like the bar just keeps getting lower and lower and lower while more and more people want to jump on that bandwagon, right? Once again, even if the original thing was warranted, like, you know what I mean, to talk about and was content worth talking about. Yeah,
and I mean, I think those are, definitely separate things. There are some people who I remember I was watching like a react or whatever. And one of the guys, I think it might have been, the guy was talking about, he had emailed Pirate to like ask him a question, and Pirate basically told him like, yeah, dude, I'm not going to do this, whatever, kind of like shut him down. I think he maybe wanted to like interview him. I don't remember the details. And the guy was like, oh, and then of course Pirate did the thing that's like, oh my God, almost the equivalent of, all of the people that are haters are all just jealous. Like no one should ever unironically say that about themselves. They shouldn't say it about other people because it's usually not true. It's usually not just jealousy. It's usually more nuanced than that. But that's like the easy way to dismiss criticisms. Like they're just haters because they're jealous of. So so he responded with basically like, and this is how he talks about basically anyone who's criticized him. They're just trying to get their 15 minutes of fame off of me, but don't worry, they'll find out one day that they're not going to have any friends. And it's like, oh my God, like, they're not going to have any friends, and their career will be over because they've alienated blah, blah, blah. And it's like, again, the awareness is kind of, it's lacking. But, and so what he had said was basically like, I checked out all your content and it seems like all of it's like drama farming, all of it's drama baiting. And I'm like, and I pulled up the guy's channel, and it was wall of red letter. I think it was probably the channel that you saw with the screen. It was probably all those channels, because I was like, oh. And then you scroll down past all the pirate software, and it's Destiny, H3, just everyone. I was like, oh, okay. So he's not wrong about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, like the code review stuff from like an academic perspective.
Yeah.
It was all good. It was all spot on.
Yeah.
The thing that turned me off personally was just you could never ever do this because it's the wrong way. And and I know I'm opening up the can of worms, because some of the people are just gonna say, like, you could never be a good X if you never do the right thing.
Yeah.
A good mechanic if you don't do this. You never be a good, if you're not fucking putting L joints in all of your wood, with rabbits and brads and glue. This is this old house. I don't know. I've never if you're not using dovetailing for your 90-degree angles, then you're a hack.
You have any self-respect.
Kind of like, and it's like, sometimes, and in Pirate Software's defense, I think the game that they were looking at was a game that he made by himself. So a lot of the whole things about, like, someone might look at your code someday, and it's like, it's just so absurd to think that there might be a team of 50 people working on this 2D breakout clone that I'm making in Java, for fun, to test some shit out. Like, so you just hack stuff together. You'll do magic numbers because it doesn't matter, So he was the only one working on it. Now, granted, it's like a project that, he's been working on for a while. And they kind of tried to basically say, like, oh, because of all this bad architecture and this bad design, that's why it's taken 6 or 7 years, and that's why he hasn't released it. And it's like, probably not. It's probably that he's doing YouTube and streaming stuff, and he's probably just isn't spending much time on it. Like realistically speaking, his code is it will probably work fine. And it's not going to ever really backfire on him. There's never going to be any big issues. These are all the things where it's like, you can't do this thing because 1 in a million you're going to have this thing and you don't want to be. And it's like, it's more indicative of, like, some of the design decisions you can tell. Some of them are laziness. Like magic numbers is something I think is more defensible. Now, first of all, if I worked, like, working at any of the companies I worked at in the later years, I mean, like, if you fucking had spaces instead of tabs, or, if you didn't have the right formatting, or if, it didn't use dependency injection in the right way, or this was a hard-coded magic number, like, none of that shit would make it past code review. None of it.
Yeah.
Like, and there's a difference for when you're working on a team of 20, 30 people, and it's a big project, and, like, so, like, I was absolutely a stickler for all that kind of stuff when it mattered.
Yeah.
In my personal projects. Now, in my open source stuff, I was a lot more like that. And if I was going to show any code, that's the other thing too, is I wouldn't show any of this terrible code. But the problem is that's used as, like, it demonstrates, I think, some of it demonstrates a fundamental lack of understanding, because there are certain things that would actually be faster to do from the start, and easier to maintain, and easier to bug fix if you did it right the first time around.
Gotcha.
Like, if you had, let's just say you had, like, chapter stories or something like that, and like, when the chapter, it was like chapter 1, and there'd be like paragraphs of text. I'm just making this up. And they came in different parts, and you go like next page. You could define all of those strings as, like, variables, like string chapter 1 title equals quote, blah, 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 quote, semicolon. You could make them all variables. Or you could have, like, a JSON file
with all of the text inside
that had all the text, and it was all, like, and that would just be easier, because you could make changes and you wouldn't have to necessarily recompile everything because it might just load it from, so like that's a demonstration of like, how the fuck could you be doing it this way and showing people and unironically. When it comes to the magic number stuff, it's like, you could have multiply something by 9.8. You really should have a const that's like gravity.
Yeah.
But if you're only ever going to use it once in this one file, then a lot of people would just go equals, something, ball diameter, drop speed times 9.8 and just call it a day.
Yeah.
One's laziness, the other is incompetence. But what's even worse is that he doubled down, basically saying, misunderstanding and misrepresenting all of the criticisms. And then basically being like, these people never worked with GameMaker. They don't know this SDK. They don't know the toolkit. They don't know this, and that. So, they don't know what they're talking about. It's all garbage, and they're all just cloud chasing. And it's like, no, it's embarrassing that none of these people know, and they can still instantly look at your code and see that it's...
So it's like basically, it's like people start doing code reviews. And what you're saying is like 95% of the critique of the code is like fundamentally accurate. Some of it you can empathize with because you're like, yeah, sometimes you're lazy and you do the thing. Some of it is like, some of the criticism is like, yeah, how did you actually do that? And that's almost not even the point. The point was that in response to the like, definitely this could have been done better, but I understand it. And definitely this could have been done better and I don't understand it. The responses was, nah, fam, you just don't get it. I did it all perfect. You're dumb. Okay. Because I was literally almost, while you were explaining that, like getting to a point where I was like, this is laborious. Who cares? Like he could just say, yeah, I did this as a personal project and I did it all wrong. But so like right before I was able to say that, you were like, but his response was, you just don't understand. And I don't see that's interesting.
Yeah. So I'll just give a quick example. So one of the guys that I'm talking about, this guy Coding Jesus.
Coding Jesus.
Oh, and that's another funny thing too, is that there was this clip of Pirate Software basically saying, yeah, people call me the Bob Ross of like, coding because, such and such a thing, blah, blah, blah. Right. And this guy and a lot of other people online interpret that as him saying that he's like incredible, that he's like putting himself up on a pedestal.
Yeah.
But like Bob Ross wasn't an incredible painter. Like he was Bob Ross wasn't known for being an incredible artist.
Yeah.
He was known for popularizing a particular, style or whatever.
Yeah.
So I can see how, now I don't know if anyone's actually called him that or if like he made that up.
Yeah.
But those are the kinds of things where it's like, I think you just need to interpret them as, like generously as possible.
Yeah.
So then I think Pirate then commented basically like, oh, it's ironic that you then call yourself Coding Jesus. And he's like, it's because I used to have a beard and like, he's like, I don't know, vaguely sort of Middle Eastern or whatever. Yeah. So he's like, it's because I look like Jesus, not because I think I'm a coding god.
Yeah.
So like they're both being like so fucking.
Yeah, exactly. It's like then you're doing the thing. You wanted the generous interpretation of your name, but you didn't do the generous interpretation. Yeah. That's
but yeah, so this is one of the examples. So what Coding Jesus was talking about, and I don't remember all the specific cases, but I can just look at this and give you an example. Part type gravity, parenthesis, effect drop, comma, 0.1, comma, 270.
Certainly.
What the fuck is that? Like I can kind of assume, I'm inferring that you could look at the documentation and see, but this is almost definitely a degree value. 270, 360, like those are, that's probably some rotational, whatever. But it's like, I don't know what I would name this because I don't know what it does.
Yeah.
So, but the right way to do it might be to create a constant, for these values so that like when you were reading it, you would see, gravity effect drop, and you'd see like speed, X ball speed,
Yeah.
Y, vector rotate or whatever the fuck, right? Like,
Yeah.
then you say like, oh, okay, the gravity takes this, this, and this, and it would be readable. You wouldn't need comments, you wouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when things are broken, it would be a lot easier to say like, oh, something's fucked up with like the rotation on this falling object.
Yeah.
You go look and see like, oh, when you see the falling object's rotation variable, like that's the thing I need to fix, right?
Yeah.
Now here's the thing. He's reacting to this as a clip from Pirate Software, and he's talking about magic numbers. Pirate Software responded by saying, bro, you're telling me that I need to make a constant variable for SPR Spark. And he's like, you don't even know what the fuck you're talking about because this is like a constant that's defined by the toolkit, like the SDK, blah, 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 blah. But this is Pirate highlighted this. Right? Like he can't highlight the code in a video. So it just so happens that he's paused where Pirate highlighted a thing.
No.
He misinterpreted the 10 minutes that he talked about the actual issues and then completely missed the forest for the trees and basically was like, bro, you have no idea what you're talking about and you're a hack because, you're talking about this and saying that I should have named it when you shouldn't even. It's like, wow. What the fuck?
So what
it's
I'm
like,
learning is that I'm glad I haven't been keeping up with this.
Yeah, dude. And then one more example. So this is kind of the thing. So global storyline array. So like, I think what this does, my guess is that this is an array, which is basically just think about it like a list.
Okay.
A one-dimensional list where the number inside the brackets just tells you what the index is.
Okay.
So the first thing in the list is 0.
Yeah.
The 20th thing in the list is 19.
Yeah.
And he's just arbitrarily shoving in these numbers. So like you can see the comments give context. And I think in Pirate Software's mind, like the comments, like, oh, it doesn't matter that we don't know what this is because there's a comment here.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's just like this crazy arbitrary thing where it's like, okay, if you want to add something new to the story, you would either need to add, like, let's say it happened in the middle of the story. And I don't know if this is chronological or not. So you'd either have to add it here as like 211 and then increment 213, the next 1,000 things all by one. Or you would need to put the thing that happens in the middle at the end.
Yeah.
And then later on, when something happens that's broken with a bug with the story, you'd be like, where the fuck? Like, where is the thing? And you'd be scrolling up and down through the code forever trying to find the comment that you left.
I see what you mean.
So this is kind of the thing that, should be some JSON file that you then turn into like an object so that if there's logic, let's say there's logic that, you want to say, okay, has he checked Joe's computer in the middle of the story?
Yeah.
What the logic in the code would be if global.storyline_array sub 208 equals 1, then do a thing.
Yeah, okay.
So when you're reading that, you're like, okay, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
You would need a comment in that line of the code somewhere.
Yeah.
So again, it's like, where do I fix these things when there's problems?
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas if it was like, let's say just a JSON, and there's a lot of ways to do it, but I would just do it probably as a JSON file, that you then serialized into an object, you basically would be able to say like global.storylineArray dot, middle dot Joe's computer checked equals true.
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't even need to do equals true, but
Yeah.
It would. So then you're reading it and it's like, oh, has he checked the computer in the middle of the story? Like, you don't need to do anything. You don't need any comments. You need fucking anything.
Yeah.
The code is just obvious. So this is the thing where it's like, this is unforgivable. Unforgivable. It's like, I don't know. This isn't like I'm lazy and I'm saving time. This is, I've never learned. Now here's the thing. If he wrote this in the first 2 months he was learning to be a programmer, and he's just kind of like, it'd be one thing if he said, yeah, I don't know, I've just never gone back because it's a lot of shit and I'm not adding to the story, so it doesn't matter. Then it's kind of like, okay, I kind of get it.
Yeah.
But don't try to defend this. You know what I mean?
That's what I understand where you're saying. It's like the fact that there wasn't like I just did it that way in the past and just kept doing it. The doubling down on no, that's the right way to do it.
Yeah, exactly. And the doubling down on this is also like unforgivable and either in bad faith or just demonstrates how clueless he is that he doesn't understand the valid criticism. But like this is the kind of thing that in an individual project that I was working on where I was just hacking stuff together, that if I was going to write it once and never touch it again, like I admit this is I didn't floss yesterday.
Yeah.
Mr. Dentist guy. I know I didn't, kind of whatever.
Yeah.
And to fix this would take fucking 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's a lot of work. It's just like sometimes you're excited to get something working and you just want to get the code down really quickly and you don't want to have to fucking scroll up and define constants or whatever. So yeah, the whole thing is just a giant shit show. It's all on fire. It's crazy, and I hate everyone.
Yeah. I mean that about sums it up. Yeah, that sounds like. Yeah, I just like I'm glad that I don't follow that kind of stuff. No, like I said, I mean it's a lot of it. I believe what you're saying, where like a lot of it's valid, and I think that is if there's one way to get the internet after you, it's like misplaced confidence, like confidently wrong. You know what I mean? So that would have been a completely different story, right? If like,
if he had been like, yeah, you guys are right,
I mean, the whole time, right? Like if after the WoW thing, he had been like, I fucked up. I thought this is my thought process. I thought it was the right thing. It wasn't. That would have been whatever. The Dr. K thing, if he was like, oh yeah, I can see, like, I don't know, but I can see, that would have been this. If he was like, yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I didn't do this the right way. I know how to do it. I just did it that way, whatever. At each time, it would have fizzled. But every time, it's like, it seems like given any opportunity to be like, no, you're stupid. You don't understand. Like even the one clip I did see was like one of the reactions to the Stop Killing Games thing where he was just like, now once again, it was out of context, so I don't know anything, but once again, I've seen so little. It was like the language he was using. It wasn't like, yeah, I don't know. This is something I want to support. It's like, this is so fucking stupid. And if you support this, you're stupid. It's like that type of language, you got to like really lock in on what you're talking about. And so I think that's the thing where it's like, if there's criticism and it's valid, and then that wholesale rejection of it, that's always how you're going to get the internet after you 100%. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, you just need to, you just kind of, the way to deal with this shit is to own it and to just like move on and try not to give it any attention. I mean, and here's the thing, like everyone who wants to be holier than thou, I invite you to become relevant to literally more than 2 people on the internet.
Yeah.
And not have at least one of them not like you. Yeah. And then be in the public eye every day for like, 7, 8, 9, 10 years and not make any enemies.
Yeah.
And not make any mistakes.
Yeah.
And not even make a mistake and then double down and then apologize, or whatever. But that's all one thing. It's another thing to double down and then triple down and then quadruple down. And then 9 months later,
octuple down. Yeah. And I think that's really what it boils down to. It's like, it's harder and harder to give the empathy when it's like, at some point, bro, just be like, I was wrong. Like
how many controversies have come and gone? Is anybody talking about Dr. Lupo and the chest thing? Yeah. Nobody's talking about that anymore. That came and went in like fucking 2 weeks.
Yeah.
How many controversies have come and gone within the span that
he's been controversial?
This thing's been.
Yeah.
And it's because they put their fucking head in their ass, their foot in their mouth.
Yeah.
And, it is what it is. And that's like, that's the most you can ask from people, None of us are perfect, or some make mistakes. We all make mistakes. Some worse than others. Some are better at handling them than others.
Yeah.
Obviously, expecting the internet to en masse at any meaningful scale give anyone some grace.
Yeah.
Is unreasonable because it's almost like, dude, this is something I've been thinking about that I kind of like have put sort of vague nebulous notes that maybe we could just talk about like super quick. I feel like there's two kinds of people operating in the world these days. I don't know if it's specifically on the internet or not. And I feel like it's almost like people who are self-aware and like are aware of what's happening and like NPCs in a way. So it's like, like when we talk about the internet, the mob mentality, all of us are talking about someone else.
Yeah.
There's us who like I'm looking down and I'm seeing this whole situation. I see these people are being crazy and unreasonable, but like all these people who are being unreasonable, I don't think they know that they are just like, dude, it's so hard to explain, but I genuinely feel like there's just two categories of people. It's like when, if some YouTuber does an ad for like fucking War Thunder or what's the meme game?
Raid Shadow Legends.
Here's the thing. I feel like anyone with a brain at this point should just see a Raid Shadow Legends ad and they should go, sick, I'm glad they're making money, and go next.
Yeah, skip. Yeah.
But the fact that there are some people who are like, I can't believe you fucking sold out, bro, blah, blah. It's like, can't you just see that the only victim here is Raid Shadow Legends? Like that like they're paying people to just say some words on a video, and it's like a victimless crime. And I don't know, maybe I hate to say it, but like maybe Raid Shadow Legends has like fucking terrible microtransactions, and I don't know the details. Maybe that's not a good example.
What you're trying to say. There might be a better example. I'm with you.
But it's just like, can we all just be like aware? Like, hello?
Negative.
But we can't, because there's another type of person.
I see yeah.
There's all of us who like understand all the things. And here's the problem though, is that we all accept and sort of justify these terrible, insane outcomes because that's, 60% of the population never evolved past monkeys. So what do you expect? Expect? These people are going to act like monkeys. What do you expect? Well, I mean,
no, yeah.
No one ever talks about the fact that half of the people are monkeys.
Yeah. It's true. I mean, we've talked about that on the PP before. That I have a really hard time with that. Like, I don't vibe with the like, well, it's gonna happen. Like I'm like, why? Like 90% of the people that say that are using that as a justification to do the thing. Someone's going to be an asshole to you. Might as well be me. It's like, no, but it doesn't have to be. You could just like not be the asshole like right now. That's you. That's on you. Yeah. I don't vibe with that. Oh, man. Yeah.
Matrix is real. Yo,
Matrix
Top
is
V,
real,
I'm selling.
Man.
Top V, selling my courses.
Top V, bro.
I'm selling my,
Bustlers University.
I have got the ultimate strategy. Okay. The ultimate strategy on how to make money. Okay. I'm going to show you how to make money. It's insane. I'm rich. I knew all the right things to do.
Vcoin.
I'm going to show you. Okay. It's going to cost you $1, but it's going to be worth it because you're going to make way more than that. Okay. Cool. Okay. Awesome. Thanks for the $1. So just do what I just did to like everyone over there.
Hell yeah.
Top V.
My wife. Oh, yeah. Let's just rug pull it, baby.
The sad thing is that what I just did is like 50% of business in the world.
That's the grind set. That's the grind set.
It's every hustle culture shit. It's every hashtag, girl boss, whatever.
Yeah.
It's everything involving NFTs and Bitcoin. It's all
Just
fucking. And I just made 11 enemies that are wearing fox masks. You can take off the mask. Okay, no one can see you right now.
Oh, damn, called out. You know who you are, Steven.
He covers up his webcam.
Damn. Well, that's crazy. And I'm so glad that I don't just exist on the internet much anymore. It's crazy stuff, man. It's crazy stuff. There's always something. But yeah, that is the stuff for this week. Once again, we if you enjoy these episodes and you want even more podcast content, you can go to patreon.com/thepogcastpod, where you can get early ad-free access to these episodes and additional episodes that we record just for the people over there, and they get crazy. They get spicy.
You think what I just said, if you think was remotely spicy, you haven't
come check out our PP.
It's like hot wings. Okay, what we're talking about, except I'm not good with hot wings, so that's a bad example.
Yeah. So patreon.com/thepodcastpod. Thank you once again to Cash App for sponsoring this episode. Thank you guys for the support, for listening. I know it's been kind of like Tarkov focused episode for the past few weeks. It's nice talking about some other stuff going on. And yeah, thank you guys for hanging. We appreciate you, and we will definitely see y'all on the next one.
Invest in my top V coin.
Yes.